Dr. Corey, and we're proud of you too. I want to thank the Cleveland International Hall of Fame for this great honor. And you know, I'm really in good company, don't you think, with all the other honorees here? And I also want to acknowledge a couple people in the audience because I haven't seen him for a while. But I just love Albert Ratner. I have to admit that. And I loved his sister, Ruthie Miller, one of my best friends. God rest her soul. And Dick Pogue, you are terrific. These fellas in the business community and other people, Dick Russ in TV, and Tony Liberatore, our union leader here, and others, Tony George and others, have done terrific work for our city. And even though you're not quite the honorees tonight, I'm honored to have you here, and I know everybody else is. Well, I look at these honorees, and just about all of them have represented part of my life. I've known Jose since he was a lot younger, and we were on the same board, grew up in the same neighborhood, went to St. Patrick, etc. Kenny and I and Marianne go back many, many years. He does such a beautiful job at St. Theodosius. And Father O'Donnell, who is a champion for all of us in the poor, and his cousin was one of my idols, Sister Ignatia, who did so much with alcoholism, etc. And Dr. Roos, when I was a councilwoman, he was there with Mayor Perk, one of the finest mayors we ever had. And Dr. Roos was in charge, as I remember, of the neighborhood organizations, etc. And you did so much great work, and you're an academic as well. And Dr. Anthony, again, used to come to my office and talk about entrepreneurship all the time and how we have to get more of our young people involved in the global community. What an inspiration. And I've admired Dr. Shaw at a distance, and I'm sorry I don't know you as well personally, but you have done such beautiful work in helping the poor, not only in this country, as a great doctor, but in India. But I must say something about Milton Maltz, if you'll forgive me. Because I served with him on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame board when we were trying to get it, Terry, as you have heard, and as you still are. Boy, they have the best education programs, by the way, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you don't know about it, you ought to know what they do there beyond the museum. But Milton and I go back. He was, of course, the sponsor of WMMS, which was terrific when we were trying to get the Rock Hall here in Cleveland. But his distinguished Jewish museum has had so many wonderful events, but I want to point out one of them because I think it's appropriate today. You'll see when I talk about my education that I was educated by nuns in many ways, not only nuns but lay teachers. And one of the greatest events at the Jewish Museum, not a Catholic museum, but at the Jewish Museum, was the history of Catholic nuns. And I want to thank you publicly for that display in the history. I had the Ursulines and the Sisters of Humility of Mary, and it's about time, don't you think, we say thank you to the nuns instead of all this other silliness? I can't help putting that plug in, I'm sorry. So thank you, Milton, for that fantastic museum. You know, when one person gets an honor, it really is a reflection on so many other people. So I think I want to talk about those that I would give this honor to that should really be up here. First of all, my parents. My mom was born in Pennsylvania, and she was very proud of her ancestry. And when my father came to this country as an immigrant, he was born on the 4th of July, so he thought everybody was celebrating his birthday. He was very patriotic. And I think that's one quality. If there's a quality about people who have their roots from other countries and other areas, is that they love their roots, they love their country, they love their family, all the values that my parents had, I'm sure every one of you in this room had. I had wonderful 3 brothers and a wonderful sister, and I just had a great childhood. With simple things. I was the youngest of 5 kids, and so they taught me a lot, and they also spoiled me a lot. And so I'm very happy to see that some of my nieces and nephews, my brother was here earlier, are here. They surprised me, and they're all part of that whole era of my growing up on the near west side of Cleveland, which is called also Ohio City. And I love not only my own relatives, I love my neighborhood. I see Buddy McTaggart here, whom I grew up with, went to school with his wife, and other people like that. Growing up on the near west side, Ohio City, has the most loyal friends that you'll ever want to meet. And I was proud of the fact that I grew up in a diverse neighborhood, which was extraordinarily historical. I still live there. I never moved. I live across the street from the Jesuits at St. Ignatius, God love them, where they used to threaten my brothers who went there. 2 of my brothers, 3 brothers went there. And they used to threaten to throw them through their own bay window if they didn't, behave. But when I ran for city council, I went door to door, and I knew how to say hello and goodbye in 11 languages because it was so diverse. And we also had minorities as well. The Underground Railroad was on the near west side where St. John's Episcopal Church is. And so we grew up with blacks, Hispanics, people, Appalachians, people of every ethnic background. And it was such a rich neighborhood, and still is. So I thank my neighborhood, and I thank the training that I received under the Ursulines at St. Patrick's, and the Blue Nuns at Lord Academy, and Ursuline College, and the Jesuits again, but I never had a Jesuit at John Carroll, but I did sort of know them, having grown up across the street. But I thank also, I was a teacher. That's really my profession. And I really feel that I worked with so many wonderful faculty members, and my students, I was a good grader because my students helped me get elected a number of times. But I taught at East High, and my alma mater as a lay teacher, Lord Academy, Community College, Cleveland State, Ursuline College, and other academic institutions. And I thank them because I love teaching. And there's no more noble profession than that, and so is politics, being a public servant. And we must remember that John Kennedy inspired me to think that politics is a noble profession when I was a kid, and I still think it is. And we're servants. I thank the churches. I grew up in a neighborhood that had the first, Albert doesn't believe me, but we had the first Jewish synagogue on West 30th Street in the house in Cuyahoga County. That's where I saw the deed and so on. And so many historical churches throughout our area. But I thank the churches that in many ways raised me, St. Patrick's and St. Mary's, and I know Father Peter's here, the pastor of St. Mary's on Carnegie Avenue. Thank you, Father, for being here. I'm so proud that I am a native daughter of Cleveland, my favorite city. Greater Cleveland gave me the opportunity to serve in 3 legislative branches of government and elected to the State Board of Education. And the diversity in our city, we're like the United Nations, really. And thank God we're not homogenous. That's the wonderful thing about our area, that we are a cultural mosaic. Well, I mentioned that I was in Congress, or somebody mentioned it, for 16 years, and I had the best possible staff. And some of them are here today. Jane, who is a nurse who did a lot to help our people with their Medicare, Medicaid, and health care issues. Trish Cooney, who many of you, I see a few of you that she helped get a visa and get over here because she did my immigration work, and we had so many immigrants who would come to our office. Tom Albert, my administrative assistant, who came from Washington. And there's others as well. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Thank my friends Tony and Becky and David, who are here, and others who are so loyal to me. And I want to thank the Arab American community also, and all the different ethnic groups here for coming, because this is very special. We should be so proud of where we're from. So you see, this isn't just my award. It's all of those that I've mentioned. And I'm proud to accept the award on their behalf and my own behalf. So I want to say shukran, Arabic, I guess. Dziękuję, I think is Polish. Merci, gracias. Did I pronounce that right, Jose? Anyway, I better, right? And all of you, thank you very much, and thank this wonderful group. Thank you.